Good morning, everybody. This is Damon Bond, the Bond Realty Group, licensed real estate broker in Connecticut and New York. I hope everybody's doing well. Oh man, oh man, oh man. We had some pretty bad rain in this area, this neck of the woods the other day. It's been very humid in this tri-state area, at least in the Metro New York area. So, we'll see. It's been a humid October thus far. All right, hope everybody's doing good. All right, what I want to talk to you about today is kind of uncomfortable for some people, but is absolutely very, very important in the real estate industry, if you will. And actually, this is more for, well, usually all my videos are more for consumers than they are for actual, people in the business, licensed real estate brokers and salespeople. But today I want to talk about the so-called elephant in the room syndrome. And this has to do with fair housing. There was a article in the Norwalk Hour, which is a local newspaper here in southwestern Connecticut, the Norwalk Hour. And this was written on October 19th by R.A. Schuetz is the name, Schuetz, those are the initials. And the title of the article is Study Suggests Housing Discrimination in Norwalk. Wow. So I want to just talk to you a little bit about housing discrimination. A couple things here. Basically, I'll just kind of summarize the article for you. But this was a study that was done in conjunction with the local chapter of the NAACP in Norwalk, Connecticut, along with some funding from a nonprofit agency out of Hartford, which is a capital here in Connecticut. And basically what they did was they did a study and they wanted to see how bad was housing discrimination. Now, just to let you know, first of all, usually when they do studies like these, it's because there have been a few complaints. So it's not like they went out there to get people like in gotcha moments. They didn't go out there and say, let's see who we can, find out who is not, doing fair housing. Usually it's done because a number of people complain. If enough people complain, then it's not so much the state or the state government, is nonprofit agencies that will go out there and see and have testers. And so basically what they did was they had a black couple or a white couple. And it was simple things like, the white couple would be shown everything and the black couple wouldn't be shown everything. That type of study. The study only focused on race. It didn't focus on economics, such as housing vouchers, Section 8 vouchers, or, age or disabilities. It focused exclusively on race. So basically the net results of the studies was that there is a possibility that there is housing discrimination in Norwalk. However, though, there were some parts of the study, they said, according to the article, that were inconclusive. So I recommend you read this. You go into the website, the Norwalk Hour. I recommend you read the study yourself. But this is directly to the any homeowners out there. You don't want to get caught up in something because there's a lot of good people out there. But sometimes people are not aware of the laws, of fair housing laws. Here in Connecticut, as well as in New York, real estate agents and brokers have to do fair housing training every other year as a part of their license requirements. So in order to maintain your license and renew your license, you have to demonstrate that you know fair housing. In New York, this has been going on for years now. They've been doing fair housing for years. In Connecticut, this was first implemented last year, so this is new. But the reason why fair housing training takes place for real estate agents and brokers is because of this over here. Because sometimes things do happen where agents and brokerage firms will, discriminate, and I would like to say unknowingly against prospective, tenants and or buyers or sellers. So that's why that's in place. Now, in terms of the the landlords, a common question is asked. So I can't determine who I want to live here or not. The answer to that question is yes, you can. If you are in a multifamily property and you live in one of the units, so let's say you own a 4-family house, and if you live in one of the units, right, you have who you want to live in there. You just can't do it in a discriminatory manner. In other words, you can't, do advertisements like saying whites only or blacks only or, Asians only. You can't do that. But yes, you can. If it's owner occupied, meaning you live there, then yes, you can say who lives there and who doesn't live there. You can do it. You just can't advertise in a discriminatory fashion. If you employ or hire a real estate professional to, let's say, list to rent your property, they cannot by law in any form, circumstance, engage any unfair housing practices. They can't do it. So you can't tell them, I only want these type of people to live here. You can't do that because by law, they can't do that. If they do it and they get caught, then they will face, some fines and possibly loss of their real estate license. So no real estate professional can do that for you if you decide to hire a real estate professional to list your property. That's the first thing. The second thing is this. Fair housing laws are governed by what we call protected classes. In New York, as well as in Connecticut, we have protected classes. So protected classes, of course, are religion, national origin, race, of course, ethnicity. These are all protected classes. Also, depending on where you are, sometimes gender is a protected class. Familial status, meaning, are you married, not married, kids with no husband, things like that, is a protected class. So basically, just to be on the safe side, don't try to memorize who's a protected class. Just treat everybody equally. Also, here's an important thing. If you're going to do for one, you have to do for all. What that means is this. If you require a credit check, make sure that everybody who is, who's going to see an apartment, who's interested in applying, to be in your apartment, gets a credit check. The minute you allow an exception is when you get in trouble. Because let's say some person give you a sad story, my credit's not good and what have you, I'm being forthright, it's not good. You may say, okay, don't worry about it, we'll give you the apartment. If somebody finds that out and they can prove it, no. Don't, what you do for one, do for everybody. So if you require a credit check, then everybody has to do a credit check. Same thing with criminal background checks. You can do a criminal background check, that's absolutely fine. But once again, no exception. If you want to do for one, you have to do for all. The minute you make an exception is when there could be a problem. So you do criminal background checks for all your prospective tenants that, who are interested in applying for, apartments. Treat everybody the same. That's the best rule of thumb to follow. Treat everyone the same. If you treat everyone the same, there'll be no problem. Because some people are paranoid. They say, well, I got to follow this or that. It's so hard between, political correctness. It's not about political correctness. It's just about treating everybody fairly. That's all. If you do that, that's fine. Like I said, just make it equitably to everyone. And by the way, if you have any questions, you can always email me at dbond011@gmail.com, dbond011@gmail.com. You like it on Facebook, you like it. Also, you always give me a call, 203-394-8123. Once again, leave me a message. I will return your call. Just leave me a message. We will return your call. All right, so getting back to what I was saying before, it has to be equitable. That's the key thing. If it's not equitable, you'll get in trouble. Now, how do they test to make sure that you'll be in compliant? Usually, it's always done by, like I said before, nonprofit agencies. They're the ones that do the test. They'll have people call up, wanting, looking for an apartment to see how you treat them. They'll have the same people, let's say, of a different race or ethnicity, do the same thing, and they'll do this a few times to make sure that it is consistent, that you're consistently discriminating against, not because, they just don't do it once as a general rule of thumb. Now, here in Connecticut, I'm actually a fair housing instructor. I've been trained. I went through the training. So I actually teach fair housing to other real estate agents and so forth and things like that. Now, as bad as discrimination happens in terms of race, and unfortunately, it still happens, unfortunately, one rule of thumb I want to talk about, and a lot of people tend to forget, is discrimination against Section 8 tenants. Now, first of all, what is Section 8? Section 8 is a government program that will either pay for all or part of the cost for a renter. It's a federal program. It's a subsidy, a federal subsidy. So they pay for either the entire rent or a portion of the rent. That's what Section 8 is. And so a lot of landlords don't like to do Section 8. Some of them don't like to do it because they think they'll tear the place up, because usually, and I'm just telling you why a lot of landlords don't do it, because, they think the person has a lot of kids, they're going to tear the place up and everything like that. What people tend to forget is this, landlords tend to forget is this: Section 8 is a lawful form of income. I'm going to say that again. Section 8 is a lawful form of income. Meaning what? Meaning you can't discriminate against because they get money from the government. It is a lawful, legal form of income. You can't discriminate against that. So I tell people now, if you want to do a credit check on everybody, not just Section 8 people, but everybody, and you want to, exclude somebody from renting your apartment because they got bad credit, that's fine. If you want to do a criminal background check, all right, on all your applicants, not just Section 8, and you exclude that Section 8 applicant because they have, some unfavorable criminal history, that's fine as well. But you cannot, rent to them because they're Section 8. And like I said, there's a lot of misunderstanding about Section 8 tenants, all right? Section 8 tenants, veterans are Section 8 tenants. I mean, these are the people, who fight and sometimes die for this country. If they are dead, they won't be applying, for Section 8 voucher. But you get the point I'm making. These are the people that sacrifice and defend and honor our country. So, so this misnomer about, them being all single women with a bunch of kids is a misnomer. Veterans, there's a lot of veterans who get Section 8 as well. And like I said before, they are usually vetted out by the federal government because you can't have any usually criminal things or whatnot, get Section 8 or what have you. So they're already vetted out. The reason why landlords don't want to do Section 8 a lot of times is because it involves a lot of paperwork. The apartment has to be approved, it has to be inspected and everything like that. Some of the landlords don't want to go through the paperwork because there's a lot of paperwork on part of the landlord's part. But I've dealt with Section 8 tenants in the past. Many of them are very good. They're like anybody else. You have some good Section 8 tenants, you have some bad Section 8 tenants. It's like you have some good renters and you have some, not so good renters. That's all. Each of us is, are individuals. So just keep these things in mind. I'm just telling you these things just so you can cover yourself. Don't discriminate against, anybody. It's bad for business. It's bad for yourself. It's, heaven forbid, you get caught out there in the news or newspaper and they're saying, this so-and-so is a no good racist, landlord, or this real estate agent is a no good racist, so-and-so. You don't want that on you because it could be something inadvertent that you didn't mean. But remember, it's much harder to get rid of bad press that's inaccurate and false than it is to have, good press that's true and everything like that. So just let you know. So I hope you found this useful. Hope you found this informational, good for you. You always email me at dbond011@gmail.com or you give me a call, 203-394-8123. Hope everybody's well. Be well. Stay safe, stay strong, and have a wonderful, blessed day. Good day.